Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Now in my last video I promised that I would do a little demo and review on this fake Huda Beauty palette. I bought this one quite a few weeks ago and I bought it from, I think it was eBay for £4. I knew it was going to be fake but I wanted to try this little guy out. This is the look that I've created from this, and if you're interested in seeing how I've come up with this look, then keep on watching the video. Before we get into that, if you're new to the Wink Lizzie family, please subscribe and give me a like on this video. And yeah, let's see how I got this look. Alright, so I'm going to get into this now. I've already concealed my eyelids, I've done my eyebrows. I used the Collection Non Lasting concealer, and then I went over that to set it with the LA Girl powder. So I'm going to go in with this now, and I'm going to take the shade Sandalwood, which is this one here, and I'm going to take it on this brush here, which I think is from Eco Tools. I bought it a few years ago. So I'm going to take a nice bit of that, tap off the excess, and I'm going to go into the crease now. Now I've got quite hooded eyes, and so the colours that I put in to the crease need to be brought up a little bit higher, just so that you can actually see that there's colour there. Otherwise, if you pop it all into the crease, then you're only going to see the colours when you sort of blink or shut your eyes. So I'm going to go in with that there. I'm going to make sure I have a nice bit of colour as my transition. I'll let you know what I think of it of this palette as I go along. But I really do like this shade. I've used this palette a few times now, and I really am a fan of this shade. It's nice and pigmented. It's not too chalky. It's a nice shade. I trust this shade a lot. I use it quite a lot, so... Right. So it's just a nice little bit of colour I've popped onto my lids there, and it's just gone all over my nose. Okay, and next I'm going to take the shade Henna, which is the one next to it. I'm going to take on the same brush because I actually love this brush. I can use it for absolutely anything. So I'm going to take that brush there, the shade. I'm going to pop that into my crease as well, focusing all the colour on the outside and then bringing it in. So pop in this one here. If you were to start on the inner part of your eye with a darker colour, then it's just going to look not very good. So here we go. Like, I'm not going for like a total glam look, so I'm just going to pop a bit of this colour in. I've got things to do today, so I don't want to go nuts with glitter. Right. Definitely got more colour on one eye. That's cool. So I'm going to take this brush now, which is my Crown blending brush for the crease, and I'm just going to blend out the edges on those two colours. These brushes are really, really good. I love the Crown brushes. They're so cheap. They're good quality synthetic brushes. I'm pretty sure I paid £4 for this brush, and I think I got it off Amazon. It's Amazon or eBay, I'm not sure which one it was, but it literally does what I want it to do, which is good. So I'm going to just blend out the colours, focusing on the outside. Cool. So I'm going to take this brush again, and the final shade before the black, I'm going to go in with this one here, which is Bossy. So I'm going to pop this on the outside. Now, something that I have found with these palettes is the darker shades are quite difficult to kind of blend out. You'll see it when I get to the black. That's where I have most of my problems using this palette. I think that's kind of where you can tell a bit about the quality and things like that. But I'll show you in a minute. Something else about this palette that I've noticed a lot is the amount of fallout that comes out. I mean, this is actually quite reserved, but the first time that I used it, there was such a ridiculous amount of fallout. Like, I cannot tell you how much there was. And I usually don't do my foundation first, but on this particular day, I decided that that was what I was going to do. And I had to start all over again with foundation and concealer. It was a flipping nightmare. So the brush I've got now, what's this from? It's from Technic, and it's a larger blending brush. I'm taking this I'm taking all the colours together and going on the outside of my crease as well. So I've gone for this kind of like burgundy-ish look, I suppose. So I'm going to take these colours, just blend them out as best I can, because they're really not the easiest to blend out. I mean, if you've got a lot of time on your hands, like by all means, but if you're in a rush and you want to do a quick glam look, I would definitely go for a different palette, just because you'll be here most of your time trying to blend it out. So now I'm just going to take the black shade, whoop. I'm going to take it on the other end of this brush, which is this tiny small little thing, but I love using it for the black because I don't want to have loads and loads of black on my eye. I just want a tiny little bit in the V. So it's super pigmented, as you can see. But now I'm going to use up all of my energy blending this out. So I'm going to take this brush here, which is from Studio, which is a little blending brush, and I'm going to do my freaking best to blend this guy out because this shit's difficult. Right, so like the first layer kind of like blends out really nicely, and then you kind of get stuck at this point when you need to blend out a little bit more. So I'm literally here the entire time doing these tiny little motions like this just to try and like blend this little guy out. But we'll try. So I'm going to do it on this side as well. I've kind of like got a little bit left over. Now I'm not going to do any line or anything like that because I'm rubbish at doing liquid eyeliner on camera. I used to be really good at it because I used to always start from the inside and then do that part first and then do the flick after. It used to kind of like flow really nicely. And then ever since I've seen other people start with the line and then go inwards, I've been trying it and it hasn't worked for me. I mean, I always do one eye really good, and the other eye, it just completely sucks. Like, I don't know why this happens to me. I think it happens to everyone, but I just don't understand why. Why can't I just be, I don't know, equality between my wing liners? Yeah, apparently this is my first world problems here. Wing liner. Right. So it probably looks super messy at the moment, but once I've cleared up what I'm going to put on the lid, it's actually going to all come together, I hope. So I've done as best as I can to kind of blend. I don't want to be here half an hour trying to blend. So I'm going to take now this shade, which is Moon Dust, which is a shimmer shade, and I'm going to pop this onto the lid. I'm not doing any kind of cut crease, so I'm just going to pop this onto the lid. I'm going to have to go a bit closer, I think, for this. Now, shimmers in this palette. I'm just going to say this now, super chalky. Like, they're really chalky. They're chalky and there's fallout and they're just a nightmare to work with. I'm going to tell you that for sure, full show. There's a colour in here, which one is it? It's this Fling, which is this reddy shade. And the amount of times that I've used it and attempted to kind of like wet the brush, have a dry brush, use my finger, and it turns out the exact same like way every single time. It's an absolute nightmare. Right, so that's about what I'm going to do, because as I said, I'm not doing super glam. I'm going to take this big blendy shade, Slade, yeah, obviously. So, that there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do the rest of my makeup, and then I'll be back in just a minute. Hi guys, and this is the finished look. So I've just done the rest of my face. On the under eyes here, I've just popped a little bit of the shade Henna, which was the second shade that I went into, just to give it a little bit more colour. So this is the finished look. What I actually think of this palette, I'm going to tell you now. Overall, for £4, I think I've done a pretty good job in finding something that's got some nice colours in it. I'd say you need to have the time to be able to use it properly, I think. If you wake up in the morning, you haven't got anything to do for the day, I think it's a good palette to go in with. And if you're quite happy to blend for quite a while, I mean, no problem at all. The shades, the transition shades, I really do like. Even if I'm not using this palette, I will come back into this and take the transition shade, which is either this one or this one here, and I think they're really good. They're not patchy, they're not chalky, nothing like that. I mean, as you get darker, I think they get more difficult to blend out, as you've probably noticed. I mean, it's not the most finesse look, but if, as I said, if you have more time, then you can actually perfect using this palette. As you get to the shimmer shades, I've only sort of dipped into a few of them, but they're quite chalky, they're quite difficult to work with. I've tried wetting brushes and everything, like I've said, and it hasn't done much. The worst shade in here is definitely this colour here, which is Blessed. I've used this one a few times and I've tried my best, but it comes up super chalky and powdery, and it's just such a strange formula to try and work with. But yeah, I need to go into some of the other shades to see if they're all the same, but they actually swatch really nicely. I mean, this shade here is really difficult to work with, which is Fling, but you can see it's a lovely colour and it swatches really nice on the wrist, but as soon as you put it on the lid, it just, I don't know what happened, it just doesn't work. So yeah, that's a bit annoying, but overall, for £4 for a fake palette, it isn't bad. I'm going to carry on using it because I quite like it. If I've got the time to use it, I actually really like it. I've never used the real palette before, so I don't know the difference. I'm sure it's 1,000 times better, and I'm pretty sure I'd love it. But I think this one for now is actually really good, so I'm really happy with that. So that was my review and my little demo on using this palette. I hope you enjoyed the video. As I said at the beginning, if you could give me a like, and if you're new to the Wing It Lizzie family, please subscribe. I'll be doing a lot more videos on these palettes. I've got a palette coming in the post now, which is actually a real palette. I'm really excited for that one, so I'm quite happy to show you and do a little demo of that one when I can. But yeah, have a good week and see you in my next video. Bye!